If you're gonna close shut the jaws of Oblivion, you're gonna need a hearty meal. Luckily, we've got just the thing. Hello Internet, welcome back to another episode of DK's Digital Diner, where today we're going to be looking at the food from Oblivion Remastered. Specifically, we're going to be looking at the shepherd's pie. Now, there's a lot of different foods you can find out in the world of Oblivion. Lettuce, leeks, carrots, grapes, meat, cheese wheels, bread, sweet bread. And you can use all that for health purposes, potion making, all sorts of different things. But the shepherd's pie is something a little bit more special, so that's what we're gonna go make today in the kitchen. So what makes the shepherd's pie so special in Oblivion? Well, there aren't that many in the game. There's maybe a dozen, and I found this one just sitting out in a cave north of Anvil. Now, fun fact, shepherd's pie isn't a shepherd's pie if you use beef. It's called a cottage pie then. So we're gonna be using lamb for our shepherd's pie. To kick this off, grab the derpiest little potato peeler you ever did see, along with 3 pounds of russet potatoes. We're gonna peel each one, rinse them, and then chop them in about 1 to 2 inch uniform cubes. Toss into a large pot of water, don't forget that little guy, and bring to a boil. Let that run for about 30 minutes or until a knife offers no resistance when poked. Now, in one of the Elder Scrolls cookbooks, there is a recipe similar to this called a goat herd's pie. You can absolutely follow that if you'd like, but I think we take ours up a notch with some key changes. Regardless, dice half of a large onion, peel and dice 3 to 4 carrots, and rough chop 2 to 3 celery stalks. Next, grab 4 to 5 cloves of garlic, cut the ends off, and lightly smash and peel. Set those aside until we put them through a garlic crusher later. Grab a few sprigs of fresh thyme and rosemary and finely chop those up. You're looking to end up with about a teaspoon of each, but you can add more to your taste. Heat up your cooking vessel of choice over medium-high heat, this is a 10-inch cast iron pan, and drop in 1.5 pounds of ground lamb. It's not going to brown at first because of the fat, so we'll drain about half of it out when the lamb is nearly done, leaving the other half for the veggies to soak up. Add in those veggies and cook through for about 5 to 8 minutes or until they begin to soften. Crush the garlic from earlier and then toss it in with 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Stir to combine in about 1 to 2 minutes, and then it's time for the rosemary and thyme. Mix and combine until fragrant, about 30 to 45 seconds, and then stir in 1.5 tablespoons of flour. Cook that out for about 2 minutes, and this is where we're going to get some fond action. Here's where we really add in the flavor. 1 cup each of dark beer, like an Irish stout, and a little more than a cup of beef broth. The beer brings in a bold flavor with a lot of depth, but you could use red wine if you like. Mix to combine, getting all the little bits and pieces off the bottom, and then mix in about 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. You know what I mean. Make sure to taste and season as you go, adding salt, pepper, and in my case, a little bit more Worcestershire sauce. Let simmer until you have a nice, thick, beautiful base for our pie that almost stays parted when you drag your spatula through it. Lastly, we're going to add in about a cup of frozen peas and mix. The potatoes should be done by now, or in my case, a little overdone. You want them to have some structure but not falling apart. Still, this is salvageable by adding in a half a cup of room temp butter, salt and pepper to your liking, and 4 ounces of an aged cheddar cheese of your choice. Mix it all together with a potato masher and add in a 1/4 cup of heavy cream and 2 egg yolks. Gently fold in all that with a soft spatula, taste for salt and pepper, and you've got some velvety mashed potatoes. Now it's time to build. Grab the lamb mix, make sure it's evenly spread out, and top it with the taters. Spread that out evenly on top and add in little craggles and valleys and peaks onto the top, which will assist with presentation and browning. Top it off with more of your cheddar cheese, and into the oven on a sheet tray it goes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 to 30 minutes depending on your oven and other factors. You want the potatoes to be firm and set, so mine went for 28 minutes, and then I popped it under the broiler to finish off the top for about 3 more minutes. When it's all said and done, this came out of the oven. A beautifully browned, beautifully set shepherd's pie from Oblivion. Now, we're going to let this set for 20 minutes before we dig into it, and your patience will be rewarded with one of the best looking pieces of shepherd's pie you will ever see. The potatoes are crispy on top but soft in the middle. The lamb brings that unique gaminess flavor that it's known for, and the stout really added a completely bold and different flavor that I think you're going to really enjoy.